Okay, let's start with the obvious. Leicester City's 2016 Premier League title isn't just a sports story. It's a cultural phenomenon. A fairy tale so absurd it makes Hollywood look lazy. But here's the twist, revisiting this now feels like looking at a ghost. A club now stuck in League One, scraping to get back to the Championship, while the 2016 heroes are either retired, scattered, or forgotten. Personally, I think this contrast is what makes the story so haunting. It's not just about winning, it's about how quickly the magic can vanish. Let me explain. First, let's demolish the myth that Leicester just got lucky. Yes, the odds were 5,000 to 1, but luck doesn't explain beating Man City twice, or surviving the relentless pressure of a title race. What makes this really interesting is how Claudio Ranieri, a manager seen as a safe pair of hands but hardly revolutionary, accidentally stumbled on a formula that fused grit, humor, and humility. The pizza nights after clean sheets. That wasn't a gimmick. It was genius. Think about it, in an era where Premier League squads are armies of hyper-professional athletes, Ranieri forced them to talk. To bond over garlic and chili, not tactics boards. Robert Huth straight up admits players were strangers in the dressing room. But when you're sharing a margarita, suddenly you're not a tactics robot, you're human. That's why the counterpress worked. Because they trusted each other off the pitch. But here's what people get wrong, this wasn't a one-man show. Yes, Vardy's 24 goals were absurd. Yes, Mahrez's wand foot was magic. But the unsung hero? Craig Shakespeare. Ranieri wanted double training sessions, Shakespeare shut that down. Why? Because he knew this wasn't a Chelsea squad with endless resources. It was a group of journeymen. Shakespeare's pragmatism let them breathe. And then there's Nathan Dyer, missing the party because his kid was born 2 days earlier. A detail I find fascinating. Most players would have prioritized the trophy, but Dyer chose family. And the club didn't implode. If anything, it proved the squad's maturity. That moment, watching the final match from a hospital room, perfectly encapsulates the surrealism of it all. How could a city, a club, a group of misfits all sync like that? It wasn't just luck. It was alchemy. And let's talk about the sausage. The Ranieri sausage. A local butcher slapping pork, fennel, and a hint of Champions League into a product that sold 12 kilograms a day. What many people don't realize is that this sausage wasn't just a meme, it was a symbol. A working-class city rallying behind something they could touch. You couldn't buy a Ranieri sausage at Waitrose. It was hyperlocal, chaotic, and utterly Leicester. The club's owner bringing a plate to a press conference? That's not PR. That's delirium. In my opinion, this was the peak of the David versus Goliath narrative. When a sausage becomes a cultural artifact, you know the stories escaped sports. It's folklore now. But here's the darker layer, why did it all collapse so fast? Ownership changes? Squad turnover? Or was the miracle always a one-off? Leicester's current relegation spiral isn't tragic, it's a reality check. From my perspective, their 2016 season was a perfect storm. No wage budget, no stars, no expectations. Once the storm passed, the infrastructure wasn't there to sustain it. Compare that to, say, Brighton now, they built slowly, smartly. Leicester's lesson? Lightning doesn't strike twice. Unless you're ready to bottle it. So here's my closing thought, would we even believe Leicester's story if it happened today? In this age of data analytics, billionaire owners, and streaming deals? Probably not. We'd call it a scripted Netflix special. But that's what makes it timeless. It's a reminder that sports can still surprise us. That communities can still unite behind something irrational. And that sometimes, against all logic, the sausage really does win the Champions League. What do you think? Could a modern Leicester replicate this? Or was 2016 the last gasp of football's old soul? Let me know in the comments.